11, local first.
A community comes together at Warwick Middle School to have an uncomfortable yet necessary discussion about teen suicide. I'm John Buffone, and I'll have the whole story for you tonight.
The Garden Spot Road 272 and State Street connection is closed for bridge construction, while nearby business employees are worried about driver safety.
But first, police are searching for a man who pulled a knife on a woman in Middle Creek. Good evening, I'm Taylor Tosheff. Police are asking for the public's help in identifying the male suspect wanted for trying to lure a female victim into the woods this morning. News 11's Brendan Leslie has the story.
Northern Lancaster County Regional Police are on the hunt for a male suspect who allegedly tried to lure a woman into the woods at Middle Creek. Authorities say at 9:30 in the morning, the victim was riding her bike on a trail when the man approached her, asking to take a walk with him in the woods. When she refused, he pulled a knife on her and grabbed her arm. The victim was able to escape without injuries to the Middle Creek Visitor Center, where she called the police.
Obviously, it's very sad and scary.
The suspect is described as a white male, approximately 50 years old. He has a tall and thin build, clean-shaven, and wears glasses. He may have tattoos on his forearms, as well as operate a small tan car. Emily Yoder of York takes her family to Middle Creek often. Even though she would like to think the area is usually safe, nothing surprises her.
I guess it doesn't really shock me, just with the reality of the world that we live in. It's just a good reminder to be vigilant and careful. I come out here a lot by myself with my children, and so, definitely to be more aware.
Emily says if you like to explore on your own, you have to take precautions.
Make sure that someone else knows where you're at, kind of have a starting and ending time and check in afterwards. Maybe also just not go by yourself. Try to go with someone else, or watch maybe the times of day. If you're going to go by yourself, go in more peak hours when there'd be more people around.
Reporting in Stevens, Brendan Leslie, News 11.
If anyone has any information on the suspect, you are asked to contact Northern Regional Police. East Cocalico police are looking for a former Denver resident, Daniel Leach, who allegedly used a customer's credit card without permission when he was an employee at Red Roof Inn back in November. Leach has since moved to Illinois and failed to show up for his preliminary hearing. East Cocalico police believe he is back in the Denver area. Anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is asked to contact Detective Keith Neff or the East Cocalico Police Department. A York police officer who lived in Lancaster has died after taking part in a training exercise in Maryland over the weekend. The officer has been identified as 37-year-old Alex Sable. According to reports, Sable went into cardiac arrest while participating in a SWAT tactical training. Sable was taken to a hospital where he was under critical care before he died. Sable was married with 3 children. The municipality where he lived in Lancaster has not yet been released. A community came together at Warwick Middle School tonight to have an uncomfortable yet important discussion on the subject of teen suicide and mental health as a whole. For more on this story, we turn to News 11's John Buffone, who joins us live in the studio with more. John?
Taylor, teen suicide is a tragedy that affects families, friends, the entire community. And that's why the message behind tonight's event was loud and clear. You are not alone. As part of the Resilience series, Warwick School District held a suicide prevention and awareness event Thursday evening to explain how suicide affects the whole community.
We're hoping to combat the idea that you're going through a hard time. There are people around you who care about you, that want to help you, that you do not have to resort to hurting yourself.
Included in the event was a video featuring a number of parent survivors expressing their emotional burdens and coping mechanisms.
It certainly is emotional. These families are applauded for their willingness to share their sensitive topics and experiences with this crowd.
Numerous organizations were on hand to open up discussions on some of the causes of teen suicide in today's society, ranging from the drug crisis to cyberbullying.
Opiates will end up making you numb to everything, so you feel better, but the more you use them, the more you have to use them, and then it becomes a vicious cycle, and that you're depressed about your drug use as well as the depression that got you started.
Just in my experience teaching through the years, I taught 30 years, I've seen such a difference in depression in students, so much self-esteem that is so low, and just talking to kids, and the cyberbullying is out of control, and they don't know who to go to.
But at the end of the night, the main message was clear: that suicide and mental health as a whole can be something that is openly talked about.
It is so important for communities to talk to each other about mental health and risk factors for suicide, and also be willing to approach one another and support one another when they're dealing with mental health concerns.
Now, if you or someone you know is having any thoughts pertaining to suicide, there are endless amounts of resources to help, including the Lancaster County Crisis Line shown at the bottom of your screen. Reporting live in the studio, I'm John Buffone. Taylor, back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Well, the sunshine streak has ended as we welcome some showers throughout the day. What can we expect the rest of the week? Carl Kern has our first look at the forecast.
First Look Weather is brought to you by the Wagon at Weaver Markets. Check out weavermarkets.com for this week's menu.
Well, the work week will be drawing to a close tomorrow, Taylor, and we head into Mother's Day weekend, another one of those pre-summer weekends in the month of May, which may not be as sunny as it will be tomorrow. We do expect sunshine to return rather nicely. We did have some a quick moving downpour, I would say. Probably one of the lesser severe of the downpours that were in eastern Pennsylvania this evening. They didn't stick around very long. A few brought some hail, but otherwise the sunshine came out right after the storms exited, and we are looking ahead to a sunny day on Friday. I'll let you know what the weekend has in store. The complete forecast is on the way, Taylor.
All right, sounds promising. Well, an Ephrata Township bridge is under construction, closing down Garden Spot Road connecting Route 272 and State Street near the Green Dragon. But local businesses are noticing cars repeatedly ignoring the signs, causing issues close to the construction site. News 11's Holly Hare has the story.
Car after car, warning sign after warning sign. Ignored this week with Garden Spot Road closed for bridge construction.
The signs aren't there just for the heck of it. They're actually closed. The road is actually closed. Don't come down here. Now he's going to come up the corner, all of a sudden hit the brakes.
Stephen Fries works at Summers Trucking along Garden Spot Road as the director of safety for his truckers. He asked us if we'd help spread the word and promote driver safety.
People are putting themselves in a higher potential for a problem, and that's where my concern is.
After 4 signs along a half-mile stretch of road, there's plenty of warning and chances to turn around. But drivers think they're calling bluff on the construction until the last minute. It's not until here that we've noticed cars finally make the decision to turn around and take the detour.
It's not like there's a big area to turn around in. They're trying to use someone's personal driveway to get turned around, and probably if we went down there, you'd probably see some tracks in the grass. They're tearing up that person's property possibly.
In fact, Old Stone Barn Antiques is taking a hit financially from the road closure, not to mention the driveway provides a great spot to turn around.
As long as they, are respectful, I guess is the best way to do it, yes. And hopefully that they will, and someday, if they're in a hurry, they will come back another day and check my store out.
With the detour leading drivers just down to the next light, the potential for a mishap can and should be prevented.
Take the detour. Save yourself the hassle, the time, and the potential problems that could result if you don't.
Reporting in Ephrata, Holly Harrer, News 11.
Steve and Donna worry what tomorrow will bring as Garden Spot Road is frequented for access to the Green Dragon. As for the timeline of construction, crews say they expect to be done in 2 weeks. We'll stay tuned in the evening report. More local news is coming up after the break. How a local counseling center is preventing sexual abuse in churches. Plus, Warwick School District's unified track team had their final meet today. How it benefits all student athletes. And later in sports, LL playoff brackets are set. Brian Cast will tell you who made the cut for volleyball and softball. The nationwide Me Too movement has sparked the Church Too movement. Victims telling their stories after they were sexually abused by a church member while they were a child. The Samaritan Counseling Center in Lancaster helps congregations throughout Lancaster County and several other states address the issue, work with victims, and discuss ways to prevent sexual assault through their Safe Church program. Linda Crockett, director of the Safe Church program, worked closely with victims who were sexually abused and started the program, which allows churches to go through a 7-month training period to create a place where all can gather in a safe and trusting environment.
I saw the brokenness of the whole congregation as they had to process all of this news. And I knew that I didn't want people to have to go through that. I wanted to spend my time and my energy helping churches transform themselves so we can prevent this from happening.
Starting in June, the Samaritan Counseling Center is offering a group for parents of children who are sexually abused, as well as a group for survivors. For more information, visit the website on your screen. Warwick School District's Unified Track Team had their last meet today. The first ever Unified Track Team is for all students of all abilities. The student athletes come together, play together, and get to know one another while working as a team. The 9-student team competes in 6 events, and today they brought their A game.
It's good to have friends and to be able to just have fun with everybody out here. It's just an amazing time.
We all have different capabilities and levels of ability here, so it really helps to combine all of them and show that together we can all do the same things, just maybe a different level, you know?
Warwick hopes that next year more schools join in on the initiative. Lidditz Bike Works opened up their cyclocross course to the public today for a wild ride in the dirt. As part of the promotion with Salsa Cycles, anyone could show up, test ride the off-road bikes, and try out the 2.1-mile loop course.
These bikes are made to handle the dirt, so they take all the intimidation out and just put the fun right back into it. So you can go out and tackle trails that you probably wouldn't think you could do, but these machines can enable you to do it.
Lidditz Bike Works plans on holding local races on the dirt course in the near future. They also plan on having a large-scale professional race on October 27th. Well, Carl Kern will be back after the break with his complete weather forecast, plus which business in Lidditz is joining the popular Second Friday. But first, here's tonight's winning lottery numbers.
News 11 weather with Carl Kern, local first.
A Thursday evening with some, we'll say, summer-like, spring-like showers, thunderstorms. It wasn't really, I would call, severe weather. They were rather quick-moving downpours. There were some reports of very light hail. There wasn't any wind damage, a little bit of thunder and lightning, but overall, I think we just needed a little drink of rain for the yards, the gardens, because we're still trying to get up to speed here on the spring growing season here. But looking forward to a nice sunny but cooler day tomorrow. We started off the day nice. We're ending the day nice. In between, it was about 10 or so hours of higher humidity. Showers that moved through this morning brought the humidity back rather noticeably. It was a glary, muggy, a bit uncomfortable, sticky afternoon. The evening showers completely squeezed all that moisture out. That beautiful shot, that was the drier air. The afternoon, it featured that muggy, murky look, and now we've cleared things out. That was really neat. I mean, typically you get the humidity rolls in for a day or two, sticks around for an overnight, but no, we'll be comfortable tonight and get the morning started tomorrow in Elizabethtown, the western part of Lancaster County, 57 degrees, comfortable. Once the overnight temperatures get into the 60s for this time of year, it's typically a little more humid, but 57 won't be too bad. We top off at 73, rather seasonal, and we do turn cloudy later in the day. That's ahead of a mixed weekend with a few clouds and sunshine mixed on Saturday, but I think there might be a chance of showers on Mother's Day. I'll let you know about that. Partly cloudy, 67 in Elizabethtown tonight with a dew point of 63. That number is still coming down as the air is clearing behind the frontal boundary, that's behind those showers. So if you picked up some rain, areas that did get rain, it'll still be rather humid because of all the moisture on the ground. But there are some locations that didn't get the rain. Those dew points come down a little faster because the ground is dry. But temperatures are still relatively mild for this time of evening, but we're going to see a nice steady fall and start the morning in those 50s. The cooler air locked into the northern third, the much warmer early summer-like temperatures pretty much confined to the lower 2/3, and we're kind of caught in between here with a little taste of both today. But we are going to be a little cooler tomorrow. Seasonal on Saturday, but then chilly on Sunday, I think, with clouds most of the day, and probably Sunday is the day that it's more likely to bring a few rain showers. I don't think it's going to rain all day on Mother's Day, but I don't expect it to be sunny, and I don't think it's going to be very mild. I think we're in for much cooler temperatures. So you can see how this front, taking all that moisture out of the air, much heavier storms to the south where the air was more murky, more humid, and up to the north where the air was drier, the front sort of runs out of gas. But you see it was rather broken, didn't really rain equally for everybody. everybody, but you can see when you see those purples, that's where there was a little bit of hail, very small hail. There was also some of that in parts of the Poconos. As you can see, these weren't huge storms, but they were just holding together that tight core that was enough to bring down some heavy rain. Temperatures are going to stay pretty steady in those middle 60s. We don't really see a wide range, but we do expect to go into at least the low 70s tomorrow for daytime highs. Warmer and a bit more humid for Saturday, with a little bit of shower activity on Mother's Day and with cooler temperatures, and then a little back and forth. But by later next week, Taylor, a few 80s return and those 60s for the overnights, Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. That means it will definitely be a little more sticky, a little more humid, a little more summer-like as we start moving a little closer to the Memorial Day holiday weekend. Taylor.
All right, well, the 80s sound pretty good to me. Well, today was the day that our month-long Hope in a Handbag drive all came together. We delivered purses to both Good Samaritan Shelter in Ephrata and Peter's Porch in Denver, and to say they were grateful was an understatement. 75 purses were stuffed with all kinds of goodies, from LuLaRoe leggings, hand sanitizer, clutches, nail polish, and basically anything you would typically find in a purse.
It is amazing what thought does. It's not even just going to be the handbag, it's going to be that people in the community that don't even know them, have no idea who these ladies are, their stories, anything of the sort, what brought them here, that they cared enough to donate.
And thank you to all the local businesses who donated, as well as all the people who stopped by the station with purses. And we're really grateful for that. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, more next year.
Yeah, more next year. And Brian, you're here talking playoffs.
We are, Taylor. All the math has been done. Tiebreakers broken. Brackets are set. We'll run them all down. Plus, we will announce our News 11 Sports Athlete of the Week. Here's a hint. He plays for Cocalico Baseball. Can you guess who it is? Thanks to this video, well, find out if you are right. Sports is next. We will start by talking LL playoff volleyball. It took a while for the bracket to be finalized after a three-way tie for third place in Section 2. As it turns out, Garden Spot and Cocalico are into the field. Elizabethtown is out. And as a bonus, we will have live volleyball tomorrow here on BRC 11. More on that in just a second. First, let's take a look at the bracket. All matches on Friday, May 11th at two sites, Manheim Central and Hempfield. At Central, the host Barons, your Section 2 champions, will play Penn Manor at 4 o'clock, followed by Warwick versus Garden Spot at 5:30. As I mentioned, both of those matches can be seen on BRC 11 tomorrow night. We'll do the Warwick Garden Spot match live. Then the Central match will follow on a tape delay at 7 o'clock. Should be some awesome action. At the other site in Landisville, it's Hempfield versus Cocalico at 5:30. Then Lancaster Mennonite versus JP McCaskey at 7. Semifinals then on Monday. The finals Wednesday at Manheim Township. More LL bracketology needs to be done with softball. Only two of our local squads qualifying. The Warwick ladies, runner-up in Section 1, while Garden Spot booked their place as Section 2 runner-up with a dramatic win over E-Town in the last game of the regular season. So here's the whole bracket. Warwick plays maybe the best team in the district, Lamb Peter Strasburg, 12:15 on Saturday at Penn Manor Middle School. That game followed by Section 2 champ Solanco versus Anvil Cleona. The other site at Conestoga Valley, Garden Spot, a very winnable game against Section 4 champ Peckway Valley at 12:15, and then an absolutely incredible quarterfinal at 2:30. Penn Manor versus Donegal. I would not have been surprised if those two teams were in the title game, but unfortunately, yeah, they have to meet each other in the first round. Also, should not forget about LL lacrosse. Some hardware handed out tonight. Manheim Township ladies are league champions for the 9th straight season. 14-6 victory over Lancaster Country Day. And in the nightcap, Township makes it a double. The boys smash Hempfield 18-4 to claim the LL crown for the 5th straight time. But next, let's announce our News 11 Sports Athlete of the Week. It is Cocalico Baseball's Nick Lucky. He has been a monster at the plate, in the field, and on the base paths down the stretch. Cocalico had a brutal schedule the last week and a half, 7 games in 10 days. Thanks a lot, April Snow. But Nick's bat has been scorching hot. Since last Wednesday, he's gone 11 for 21. That's hitting at a .524 clip, 10 runs batted in, 7 runs scored, and 6 stolen bases. Eagles have qualified for the LL playoff bracket, opening up with Cedar Crest in Saturday's quarterfinals. That game scheduled for 1 p.m. at Ephrata's War Memorial Field. And remember, your Athlete of the Week brought to you by your friendly neighborhood Honda dealers. Great cars, great people. Find your nearest location or check out the entire Honda lineup online at shophonda.com. More baseball, keeping you updated with the Millersville Marauders' quest for a PSAC title. They survived in extra innings against Gannon last night, but due to a rain delay and other long games today, the Ville isn't going to play until about 11 p.m. this evening. It will be early Friday morning when this game finishes. Millersville taking on Mercyhurst. It seems like these two teams play multiple games every year. It is the 14th postseason meeting between them since 2011. First pitch, like I said, scheduled for 11. If Millersville wins, they will play at 3:30 on Friday. A loss gets them less sleep. They would be scheduled to play at noon. Speaking of early morning baseball, Barnstormers in matinee action for their series finale and rubber game with the Sugarland Skeeters. Stormers bats have been brilliant so far this season, and it continues. Joey Turdoslavich and Ryan Castillo both leave the yard with 2-run dingers. Stormers win it 6-4. Taking the series from those first-place Skeeters. Lancaster now just a half game behind them in the Freedom Division standings. But for now, that will do it for sports. We'll be right back.
Julia Sturgis Pretzel Bakery announced they will be participating in the second Friday in Lidditz for the first time. They said they decided to participate because they are a major part of downtown Lidditz and customers expressed their interest in additional hours. The bakery will remain open from tomorrow until September. You can check them out tomorrow from 5 to 8. The bakery will have hot and iced coffee samples from Whiff Roasters in their store for everyone passing through.
Yeah. You seem confused when I talked about rolling your own. You go there and you can roll your own pretzel.
Yeah, I think I did that when I was like super little or something, but
I did it. The other, yeah. More recently than that.
That'll do it for us. I'm Taylor Tosheff.
Broadcast. We'll see you tomorrow.